Hello, my name is Maverick Ratcliff, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity of this interview and for the chance to tell you a little bit more about myself. And I feel the best way for you to learn a little bit more about me is to look at where I had my first job, which I put it on my resume as Gaineswood. Gaineswood is a National Historic Landmark located in Demopolis, Alabama, and that's actually where I'm from. And also, to get a better idea about Gaineswood and what makes it a historic landmark is it's an old antebellum home that's basically this large mansion. And it started off as a small dog trot cabin, but was designed and built by General Whitfield, the plantation owner. How I first got involved with Gaineswood, though, is I went to an event that my cousin was a part of. And she was part of the program called Bells and Bows, which while I was there, I ran into an old high school acquaintance of mine who had recently graduated, and he told me that the Bells and Bows program was a program that allowed young men and women to come to Gaineswood and dress up as old occupants of the house. My cousin was actually starring as Mary Alice, and she was talking about the room that once was hers in the home. Anyway, as I got to talking to my high school friend, though, he pretty much gave me the whole tour of the house. He even butted it on my cousin a little bit, and you could see that she was upset about that, but she still did a good job from what I remember. And after he gave me the tour of the home, he introduced me to the director. And then he and the director both tried to get me to join as a volunteer and be part of the Bells and Bows, which I'm very happy that I agreed to do it. I was a bit hesitant at first because I wasn't used to speaking in front of people and wasn't used to that kind of atmosphere. But luckily, when I did the first event, it didn't go too terribly bad, probably because we mostly had fourth graders come. The first event that I was a part of is called Heritage Days, and we have fourth graders from the different schools in the area come to Gaineswood, and they get the full tour of the home, but also they have different booths set up outside, such as the Choctaw booth that tells you about the Choctaw culture in the area, and also the French Marine booth, which mentions some of the Vine and Olive Company that was located in Demopolis, and a few other things. But after that, I got more used to dressing up and introducing myself as an entirely different person. The first time was hard, though, because my character was Gaius Whitfield. Yes, Gaius is a real name, and it's a very old name. But could you imagine telling somebody that you don't know, or even somebody that you do know, that my name is Gaius Whitfield, and thank you for coming to this home that was built by my brother in the 1860s. And of course, all the little kids would ask, if it was built in the 1860s, how old are you? So of course I stumbled, I was like, but I made it through, and I only got better after that. A year after I was part of the Bells and Bows, the director came to me and asked me if I would like to join and be an employee of Gaineswood rather than just a volunteer. And I told her that I'd love to do it because I just loved talking about Gaineswood. I loved learning more about Gaineswood, and I'd gotten better at talking to people. Or at least I thought I did, until ever one time during one of the tours that I had on Saturday, I had a group of 20 people come. That was more people than I've ever had to give a tour for. And I went through the tour as I was taught and as I knew it. And by the end of the tour, I was so worried that I might have messed up on something because I was so nervous. But a lot of the ladies and gentlemen came to me and they told me that I'd done a great job and that they were really impressed, especially with the large tour that they had. So I would say that the biggest thing that I learned from being a part of Gaineswood was to have self-confidence. And I feel very confident in myself now, especially after all that. Anyway, I'd like to thank you again for the chance to have this interview and to tell you a little bit more about myself.